Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, warning, you may not have a chance to buy cheap Bitcoins in the future because you have BlackRock that is buying, added
in
some
2013,
Bitcoin to their
venture capitalists
$15
laughed at a leak.
trillion fund. In fact, if they wanted to, they could buy out all Bitcoin in circulation. That's how dire the situation is. So let's talk about this and talk about what else is going on in the world of crypto and with U.S. markets. So welcome. Let me fix that black screen that you see. There you go. So let's start out with what's going on this bright and early Saturday. Well, Bitcoin is still holding at 16.9. Looks like it wants to break into 17,000. It really looks like it wants to break up, and that is what we're waiting for. But, the U.S. market's still kind of shaky overall. You still hear a lot about, layoffs. Just last week, it was reported that Salesforce was going to cut about 10% of its jobs. But now it looks like the CEO wants to cut more jobs. So, a lot of these companies in the U.S., especially tech companies, are not doing well right now, right? This is all part of the plan with Powell and rate hikes. So it's starting to work. But unfortunately, there's more and more people that are losing their jobs. Even outside of tech, even McDonald's plans on reorganization because, well, according to them, they want to accelerate restaurant openings. But some of that has to do with the fact that there's no more McDonald's in Russia now. That was a huge dent to their bottom line. Also, people are eating out less. So, what's going on is definitely affecting everyone worldwide, right? But I did want to talk about, there's more economic stuff I want to talk about. But first, let's get to the main topic, which is this. I think this is crazy. BlackRock adds Bitcoin to their 15 trillion global allocation fund. 15 trillion, okay? That's one fund. That's 15 trillion. Now, the entire crypto market cap is not even at 1 trillion. We're at 814 billion. At one point in time, during our peak, we were at about 3 trillion, I believe. Hey, actually, we're a little bit higher, 823 billion, right? But this is a 15 trillion fund. Now, how much did they actually buy and add? We don't know. But we know that when BlackRock gets into something, they're not doing it, on a whim. They're not doing it lightly. Okay, it's been talked about for years how BlackRock was interested in Bitcoin, how they wanted to enter the space. And in 2021, late 2021, they started talking about forming relationships. For example, they already formed a relationship with Coinbase, okay, utilizing Coinbase for their custody and also utilizing them to purchase because Coinbase is the biggest OTC provider of Bitcoin. So it makes sense. Right? They've been forming partnerships left and right and been slowly adding Bitcoin to their funds. And just think about this. This is how crazy it is. All the Bitcoins that are circulating right now on the exchanges, that number has been dropping quite a lot since the second half of 2022. We're seeing millions and millions being bought and removed from the exchanges. Now, out of this 15 trillion global fund, if they just allocate 0.32%, okay, not even 1/3%, if they allocate 0.32% of the assets in this fund to Bitcoin, they can buy up every single Bitcoin that is in circulation on the exchanges right now, theoretically, okay? That's how large this fund is, and that's how much money they control. Not to say that this is a good thing, not to say that we want them to try to scoop up all the Bitcoins, but theoretically it's possible. But why it's not realistic is because if they tried, the price of Bitcoin would skyrocket and get so high to a point where it would be fruitless to try, right? But in the meantime, they're going to be scooping up. That's why it's actually a warning, because I think a lot of people think that Bitcoin will always be around. There'll always be millions floating around on exchanges for people to buy, right? There'll be plenty of buying opportunities, but you just don't know. When these big guys are buying up millions behind the scenes, you just don't know. You just don't know. You know, fast forward, I mean, in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, right? You think that's a long time, but time flies. Bitcoin already hit 14 years old. Imagine when it hits 28 years old or 30-year-old, right? The price of Bitcoin could be so astronomically high that a normal person can't even afford to buy 0.1 Bitcoin. Okay, so think about that, especially when you have big boys like BlackRock coming into the space. All right, so be careful, be warned, be warned. All right, so I want to start out with that. I think it's a huge thing that officially they have started adding Bitcoin. And of course, you know, as time goes on, they're going to add more and more and more and more and more and more going forward. All right, what else is going on with crypto news? Well, this is not good. The DOJ, Department of Justice, and SEC are starting to look at DCG, the parent company of Genesis and Grayscale, because they're afraid, kind of like FTX, that DCG has been commingling their funds and swashing funds from one company to another, right, without appropriate, I don't know, disclosure, allocation, risk management, you know. They just want to make sure that things are okay. That doesn't mean that they're officially being charged or anything. They are just starting, the DOJ and the SEC is starting to look at DCG, right? And of course, there's a big public feud right now between Gemini, the Winklevosses, and Barry Shilbert. Barry has been very quiet as he figures out how to plug that $1.6 billion of a hole that exists in Genesis. Okay, so let's see where this goes. Cathie Wood, normally you only hear about Cathie Wood buy and buy and buy. You never hear her liquidate completely, but that's what she did. So Silvergate Capital, which is a crypto bank, has been not doing well. They just recently announced that they're laying off 40% of the workforce. They have also a lot of problems, a lot of withdrawals right now. They have ties to some of these collapsed companies. And Cathie Wood decided to just dump her entire position of Silvergate. And I think it caused the stock to crash. That one day where it crashed like 40% or something could be due to this. So obviously, Cathie Wood normally very lenient towards crypto companies that are distressed. In fact, she does the opposite of what everyone else does. For example, she's been buying up Coinbase. She's been buying up more GBTC, right? But she's dumping an entire Silvergate. So, yeah, be careful. All right, now as for Bitcoin, I did mention about economic data, right? Right now, still a lot of companies doing layoffs, planning more layoffs, right? But a lot of traders seem to think that, you know what, better days are coming because inflation is coming down. And I've been saying that, right? I've been saying that for a long time. We had 2 consecutive CPI readings that showed inflation is tapering out. Core inflation is still going up, but it's really starting to stop and top out. But overall inflation has been coming down, at least according to CPI. And some people argue, well, this is not a true reflection of real inflation that's going on in the world, and you can make that argument. But at least this is what Fed Powell is looking at, CPI, PCE, right? And we're going to get another reading this coming week on Thursday. And it's anticipated that CPI will drop from 7.1%, which was already a big drop from the previous month. I think we were at like 8, and it dropped to 7.1. And people are anticipating that we're going to drop from 7.1% down to 6.6%. And not only that, core inflation will go down from 6% down to 5.7%. This will be the very first time core inflation goes down. The last two readings, core inflation still went up. So if we get a really, really good reading where overall inflation is now below 7% and core inflation goes down below 6%, well, this could be a tremendous catalyst to kick the markets up, right? And could certainly drive Bitcoin, give it a little boost, and start moving upwards, right? Right now, 17K, the bears are putting a very, very, very big battle, heavy resistance at 17K. Does not want Bitcoin to break through, right? But of course, we have been through before. If we could break through, and there's no more worries about tax, wash trading or tax loss harvesting, I should say. You know what? We could build from here and move forward, right? This is all short term. Long term, of course, we got big boys still buying whales and retail all buying behind the scenes. But short term, this could definitely drive the momentum forward. What else is there? Unemployment. Unemployment is at 3.5%. Lowest level since 1969. Now, this doesn't help the case with Powell. Okay, Powell wants to actually see unemployment go up. As strange as that sounds, he anticipates sometime this year, unemployment is going to hit like 4.3%. That's what he said last time, right? But obviously, we're not moving up right now. We're actually staying low, which is really good. But, this is counterintuitive to stopping the rate hikes. But overall, this shows that the U.S. economy is still quite strong. Labor force is strong. Wages is still high. And these are good things. Good things. IRS. A lot of talk about IRS. The new House Speaker said the first bill he's going to repeal is the 87,000 addition of IRS agents. And I think everyone's cheering that. But IRS officially is saying that crypto is here to stay and becoming more legitimate, and it's technology. You can't stop technology. We can't be hostile to technology. We have to embrace it. This is according to a top IRS official. I don't know what that means. But cryptocurrency is here to stay. As far as I'm concerned, it isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's becoming more legitimate. As the years roll on, it becomes more sophisticated. And, that's what they're supposed to say, right? The IRS only cares about collecting tax dollars. They're not the SEC or CFTC. They're not here to say, well, we think it's a scam. That's not their position, right? They just have to say, well, just give us your tax dollars, okay? That's all we care about. I mean, officially, that's what it means, but we'll see. We'll see how tax code changes for this year. The SEC of Thailand launches Crypto Academy to help investors learn and get educated about Bitcoin and other types of cryptocurrency. This is great. This is great. Why doesn't our SEC launch a Crypto Academy? Why doesn't Gary Gensler launch some kind of framework so that crypto companies know what's considered good, what's considered bad, what deems them as a security, what doesn't deem them as a security, right? And overall, launch Academy to help people get educated. You know why Gary doesn't do it? Because he wants chaos. Because through the darkness, he gets to, he gets to control things, right? Because if there's lack of clarity, well, he just like throws his weight around and just dictate everything is under his jurisdiction. Maybe that's why. I'm just speculating. All right, what else is there? Well, here's a really good thing for Bitcoiners. Holders versus traders. The orange line are holders holding coins over 1 year, and the blue are traditionally like more retail investors jumping in, FOMO. The traders are holding less than 1 year. But you could see for some time, they kind of moved up at the same point, right? Until we had our parabolic rises. Every time we have our parabolic rises, the retail investors, the ones that are holding less than 1 year, skyrockets. And the ones that are holding over 1 year goes down. Not that they're going down. because this is just basically measuring the percentage. And they go down, it looks like it goes down because the new people that are FOMOing in, right, is coming in by the boatload and, of course, overshadows the holders. But whenever you see them go opposite, like what you see now, right, that usually an indicator that something big is coming. Just like all previous times. Whenever the two deviated, they come together and flip-flop, because when the next run happens, the blue line is going to skyrocket and the orange line is going to come down a little bit, and that's when we're going to get our next top. So, interesting way to look at it, right? Number of addresses holding 10 plus Bitcoins. This is not an easy thing to do. Not an easy thing to do, but you could see it's been going up and up and up and up since the beginning of 2022 and continues to go higher. There's 155,000 addresses, meaning if you cut that in half, I would say, probably like 70,000 people worldwide, okay? Not just US-wide, worldwide. So it's a very limited, very select few. 70,000, I would say. It could be less than 70,000 too. Out of 8+ billion hold 10 plus Bitcoin, right? I bet BlackRock is one of them. BlackRock may be holding many addresses hold above 10, okay? But for individual investor, right, that's a huge achievement. But if you already got one, right, then your next goal is to get 2, and then get to 5, and then get to 10, and then get to 100, right? I believe the name of the game is to see how much one can accumulate during the course of their lifetime. I honestly believe that. That's my strategy. That's my goal. I don't care about up and downs. I care about how many Bitcoins I have, because I see Bitcoin being the scarcest asset we have today. There's no scarcer asset than Bitcoin. It's set by code. You can't inflate it more, and you can't replicate it. It's impossible. It's not virtually impossible. It's impossible for any government or any tech projects or tech companies to try to replicate what Bitcoin has achieved. It's just impossible. So stay strong, my friends, and accumulate. That's Michael Saylor's strategy too. So he puts out these kind of charts to kind of probably make himself feel better about his unrealized losses right now. But according to him, if you measure performance of MicroStrategy and Bitcoin from August 10th till now, right, you can see MicroStrategy is still up. Their stock up 30%, Bitcoin up 41%, S&P 16%. You have some of the tech giants, Google, Apple, Microsoft still up. But you can see NASDAQ, gold, silver, bond down, Netflix, Amazon, Meta down. So ultimately, Michael Saylor thinks Bitcoin strategy is winning for MicroStrategy. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at something positive there. And lastly, as for Gala is going up. A lot of you guys are Gala fans. I am too. I think they're the biggest decentralized gaming platform out there. They just bought some mobile game with 20+ million users, and they have like 15 games in the pipeline. There's a lot of stuff happening in Gala. So even though they're down, their price is down tremendously, but they're still pushing forward. And I do believe they're the biggest gaming platform that we have in the Web 3.0 world, decentralized world. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Welcome everyone on Rumble. We got 76 people on Rumble. Hey, they changed their interface. It looks cooler. Welcome to everyone on Twitch. Lucky Meat, welcome, and of course everyone on YouTube. Let me bring this story up. People still talking about bonk. Warn you guys about bonk. Got a lot of people wrecked after it started coming down. Bobby, are you still buying more BTC and crypto, holding off until you're done? Yes, I still been buying. I've been buying throughout 2022, even though it's been going down. You know what? That's the point of DCA. You take the guessing out of it when you know something's cheap, right? Or when you don't know that, but you believe in the cause in the future. You believe in the potential, right? You just keep DCAing. Does Sheeb have any use case? Yeah, they're about to launch Shibarium, which is a layer 2 for Ethereum. So think about that. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Michael, I appreciate it. You know, treadmills can well, running on a treadmill can be quite boring. So I'm glad I could help you. Ham City Girl, welcome. Welcome. I need more followers on Twitch. If you guys want to help me get more followers on Twitch, please do so. Let's see here. Owen Thomas, I appreciate that. I wish one day I could be as famous and as wealthy as Warren Buffett, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I could, because Warren Buffett didn't make most of his money until he turned in 50s. Like, he made most of his wealth after pretty late in the game, not when he was young. Like, pretty late towards his, like, yeah, after, I think after 50. So maybe I could get there someday. That'd be crazy. Will Compound Finance reach a new all-time high? I think DeFi projects like Compound will get stronger in the future. It may take a while, but they will definitely hit their previous high and move further, because there's more distrust in centralized exchanges, and there's more trust in DeFi now. So I do think that DeFi projects like Compound and Aave and others will get stronger. Still rocking a Ledger Nano S. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Still nothing wrong with it, you know, but of course they have the S Plus, which is awesome. In fact, I have one right here. The S Plus is basically the evolution of the S. Of course, they have the X, which has Bluetooth, and then they're coming out the new Stacks, which looks really, really cool, but not out yet. But, you know, it's never too late to get a hardware wallet and protect your own, you know, crypto. Being rich is only fun when you're young. No, that's not true. I can tell you from experience, once you have enough money, most people always think, you know, I need more money, more money, more money, more money. Once you get to a point where you have enough money, then you realize there's only so many things you could buy. And, you know, the happiness that comes from buying those things is diminished with every single buy. Honestly, I could tell you from that experience. And at that point, happiness comes from helping others. It's 100% true. Most people don't believe it. Most people just think, oh, I'm going to be wealthy and go travel and buy all these cars and houses, and I'm going to be very happy. And once you achieve those things, you realize that life is not so happy anymore. So helping others is actually, at least for me, gives me more pleasure than buying things now. So even if you're old, you get wealthy when you're old, okay? You don't get a lot of happiness by helping your family or your kids or anyone else out there. Charitable things, right? People will never get that until they get into that position. I'm telling you guys that. So don't think that, you know, once you you know, once you get all the Lambos and your Bugattis and stuff, it's gonna make you super happy. It's nice to look at, but it's not gonna add any more happiness to your life. Let's see. How will AI-based cryptos perform? Kate, you know, that's a hard question because I think AI is still very early overall. But you know, like someone like ChatGPT could definitely utilize a decentralized storage and could utilize, you know, decentralized storage projects for their backbone, something like that. Computing wise, I think it's still a little early. Data place, they already have data marketplaces for AI. They didn't do so well in the previous cycles, but this new one could be interesting. So, okay, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I think they could do much better going forward than some of the previous cycles we've been through. Why these Lambos are not making me happy? Because, you know, they're fun to look at and it gives you a sense of accomplishment, but you never have the time to drive it, and buying the next one doesn't make you happier. It's just because you're bored, you know, really. Yeah, it's just, you know, I guess, yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to stray too off. My dad told me, no matter how rich you are, you can only eat 3 times a day. Well, I get it, but no, you could eat more than 3 times a day. You could eat, you could eat 3 times in an hour, but no, that's I kind of get it. I kind of get it. Will AI help drive and evolve quantum computing? I don't know. I think quantum computing and AI are 2 different things, although the 2 different things can certainly merge. AI of the future can be driven by quantum computing or quantum computers, but not right now. Mega Millions at 1.1 billion. Well, good luck to everyone. And if you attain it, you'll quickly realize what I was just saying. You can buy all the nice things on earth, and then you realize that it doesn't give you any more happiness. I'll definitely say money and financial freedom gives you options. That's good. Living pay to paycheck sucks. You don't have any options. You don't have a lot of time to spend with your kids, let's say, right? So don't get me wrong. Financial freedom, attaining financial freedom, life-changing wealth, it gives you options for sure. It takes the burden away of always worrying about the next paycheck, right? But ultimately, happiness will come from helping others rather than on yourself. What's your opinion on the rarely seen tan interior of the S and X? Have you seen one in person? No. I see almost everyone trying to go for the white one, the white interior, and I think it's just horrible idea for kids or anyone with kids or, you know, I just don't think it's going to get dirty. It's going to wear out over time, and it's not going to stay white like that forever. I think the black interior is still the best, but I wish they had more color combinations. I hate seeing how every single Tesla on the road is all white. Because it's free, it's a free color, so everyone chooses white, and it's losing its appeal, right? Yeah, we got 37 people. It's 3,700 people in here. Shout out to everyone. I don't know, people are coming back from vacations or something. Lots of chat here about ChatGPT. I mean, I've been exploring ChatGPT as much as I can. I see so many people create content about it. about how it can, you know, summarize videos and scripts for you, create scripts for you. You could do a lot of creative things with it, but I haven't really figured out how to kind of automate it and utilize it to its full potential. But I do think once it gets integrated with Bing, and that's coming in a few months, once that opens up, I think the landscape changes. I think you're going to see so many ways to make money from it, so many ways to do research with it, because right now it's capped, right? It's capped because it has no internet access. But wait until it does. That's going to be a game changer. So I can't wait until that happens. And Google must be really fearful right now because of that relationship. Crypto Card Guy, hey, appreciate that large super chat. Hot pink Tesla for the win. I see a lot of people Tesla's wrap it in that dark gray. It looks really good. Mataru subscribed. Welcome. Darwin Daydream. While Tate is sitting in jail, I'll take the spot as top G until he comes back. Yes, Lambo will make me more happy than a Civic 2006. Hey, nothing wrong with a 2006 Honda Civic. And I do love trucks too. Roarcore. I'm with you there. I like trucks. Yeah, at some point it'll go behind a paywall. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Albert, you actually driving right now? You're pulling over just to listen to me? That's amazing. I appreciate that. I don't know. For those of you guys that are tuning in late, you know, my urgent warning was about this. You know, BlackRock adding Bitcoin to their 15 trillion, not billion, trillion fund. If they just allocated 0.32%, 0.32%, less than 1/3%, they could buy all Bitcoin floating around on all the exchanges. That's how much money they have, okay? And if they're starting to add and publicly disclose it, just think how much they've been buying already behind the scenes. They could be the biggest Bitcoin holder already, right? Not to say that that's a good thing. We don't want them to buy up all the Bitcoin. But it just goes to show you this perception of, hey, there's going to be cheap Bitcoin forever. You know, I can always wait. You know, that's not a reality. People said the same thing when I was at $100, when I was at $1,000, when I was at $3,000 a few years ago, right? Despite us coming down almost 80%, Bitcoin is at 16,000 still. We're not back to 3,000. We're not back to 1,000. We're not back to 100. Every single low that we form is much higher than the previous low. And the reality is that as more holders hold DCA, as more whales buy in, and as more institutions buy in, Bitcoin is going to be scooped up, and there's going to be very little of it left in the future, and that's why the price is going to keep going up. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Enjoy your Saturday. But so far, so good. Bitcoin is holding, looking like it wants to break 17K. We got a CPI reading next week that could certainly push it above. But in the meantime, BlackRock is adding and adding and adding, and they're not going to stop. So stay strong, my friends, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.